Yeah, just a credit to Western Michigan. They obviously played to their philosophy of what they played all season. They have a style that they believe in, that they play toward. Running the football, shortening the game, playing behind the defense, and it worked tonight. So credit to them. We played decent for a half, but we didn't put two halves together tonight. We were down obviously a couple guys on defense, not to make an excuse, but we have to get some of our young defensive players to grow up, and they will, and we'll get better as we move forward.
Coach, I know Jaylen, he only got one pass completion tonight, and I know earlier this season he was dealing with a hand injury on his throwing hand. Do you think the cold weather or just the injury kind of flared up that made it difficult for him tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I just think obviously that's is a challenge. When you're dealing with a thumb and the weather gets cold and the wind is blowing and all the elements is definitely a challenge. We try to warm them up early and get them going, but he's working through it. I've been proud of his effort. We just got to keep trying to get him treatment and help him get where he needs to be, at least for one more week until we can get into the off season.
And Jasper, on that first Western Michigan drive, you come up with the interception there. Just take me through kind of what you saw unfold on that play.
Yeah, I mean, my man just broke out. I broke with him, saw the ball in the air, and it got tipped, and it just kind of came my way. Grabbed it, picked it off.
And then with the run defense, obviously Western Michigan gets over 300 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns there. Just where do you see the biggest struggle in that area?
I think just as a whole, as a defense, we all have to play better. We have to be more physical. I think they out-toughed us today, and that's something that we pride ourselves on, and we didn't do that.
And for Telly, you had the long touchdown run on that first drive there. Just what did you kind of see open up there, and just how do you feel about the offense's performance overall?
Kind of before the play started, I kind of seen the twist, so I knew it's gonna open up here, and my O-line did their job, and I stayed behind them.
You've had a bunch of long, obviously, touchdown. All 4 of your touchdown runs. This is actually your shortest touchdown run of the year. What's kind of working on these long plays? Is there some common thing you've seen with them on these 60, 70, 80-yard touchdown runs you've had?
I don't really feel like it's nothing to it. You see it, you hit it, and over the offseason, I worked on my breakout speed, and it shows.
And this is for either or both of the players. Did you guys just feel anything kind of change as far as, going up 13-0 only to, give the lead there? Was there something that changed kind of with the mentality or just the mindset during that game?
No, I don't think so. I think, when we went up 13-0, everybody on the sideline said, just next play, keep going, and, can't let up, but things just didn't go our way.
Yeah, I feel like the same way. It all comes down to execution. We executed in the first quarter, in the first half. Second half, we just got to execute more than what we did.
Coach, this is the second time we've had a lead like this at almost 14-0 in the Miami game. Both those end up losses. Is there some kind of, something you've seen in these situations, in these couple of games with the team getting the lead, something changing with the mentality or something?
No, I don't think anything changed with the mentality. We had a 4th and 1, and we didn't get it. I trust our players. We didn't get that situation. Then they came back and got a touchdown. So I guess you can second guess and say we should punt the ball in that situation. But I have confidence in our offense. I had confidence in Siobhan that we can make a yard. We didn't. He hasn't been stopped for a yard all season. And they took the momentum at that point to go up 14-13. But if you get that, you stay on the field, maybe you go up, 20-7, and then it's a different ball game at that point. But we knew they were a ball control offense. I was trying to keep our offense on the field and play keep away from them, and they stopped us in a critical situation. So credit to them. They made the play at a critical moment. and then we couldn't get off the field when they had the ball.
I've got one last one. Coach, just with the way this season has gone and now this being year 7 or year tenure here, just how confident do you feel about your future as head coach of this program?
Yeah, I'm extremely confident. I have no reason not to be confident. We have a plan. We got a young team. My administration have given me the resources to retain my team, and I think that's important. If I had the ability to retain some of the guys that I've lost, previously, I don't think things would have turned out the way that it turned out. They've stepped up and given me the ability to retain guys like Beeler and Telly and a bunch of other guys who told me they're coming back. We're going to add some guys. We've already done that, and we're going to get stronger. We got a lot of young, talented players, and I feel really good about where we're headed. And so the future is extremely bright. I just told our team, the guys that's all the way in, be all the way in with us. And if you're not, keep it moving. This is a new day and age of college football. Everybody wants to have an agent, which is interesting to me because I didn't even have an agent when I became a head coach, right? I got this job without having an agent, but everybody wants an agent, which to me, if you play well and you do the things that you need to do, your play speaks for itself. But I get it. I understand the landscape has changed dramatically, and I understand that. But I still like dealing with families and the players that's in our program. So these guys have come to me face to face, and we've had our conversations. And now we have the ability to retain, which gives us a chance to help continue to develop and build and move forward. So we're excited about what we have. We're excited about moving forward, and we're excited about, heading into the Mountain West and competing at an extremely high level.
Anything else? Thank you all.
Thank you.